A little while ago on this channel, The Nando Cut, I made a video about whether or not Superman needs shorts. And this was in response to James Gunn asking this question on Twitter, and this idea that we're getting a new Superman costume. What's it going to look like? Is it going to have shorts? And I think, personally, you need the shorts. If you can't make the shorts work, you're not going to be able to make the rest of Superman work, so it's almost like a way to test someone. But more, I think it has a lot of function aesthetically with breaking up the costume, making it look like pants, making it look like something, a human wears as opposed to a big alien flight suit, whatever. Now, a lot of times passed since then. I haven't really changed my mind. I still believe that. And we just got to look at the costume that David Corenswet is going to be wearing in Superman Legacy. And I just want to do a real quick, let's look at it, see what we think. Okay, a couple things real quick. It's interesting what they did with the color. I'm surprised that this is not a bigger, more vibrant, because it seems like, and I don't know, I mean, maybe this is something that the fans want more than will actually happen, but it seems like this kind of exists in contrast to the Snyder Superman, in that, I guess people are talking about what we wanted from this movie, and what James Gunn said he wanted is this hopeful Superman. Right, that's the core of this character, which is something, not to belabor the Snyder thing, people always said Snyder Superman didn't really hit as hard as they wanted to. Which, one of the things, the Snyder images were very muted. They had a very gritty, somewhat, I guess we're going for realistic look to them. I kind of expected this one would have a more comic booky look to it. That said, it does not. But just look at some of the different features of the costume. Biggest positive, the trunks. We got the trunks. Now, it's not super clear, but if you zoom in, if you're looking for it, you can see a huge difference in color between whatever's going on in the crotch versus the color of the legs. And we also see what seems to be a belt. I think both of those are great for a Superman costume. I like the trunks, and I like a belt, separating the trunks. I was never a fan of just the belt, but if you're not getting trunks, I guess I would have preferred the belt than nothing. But yeah, trunks. We win with trunks, and that is good. That is a good sign to James Gunn. Knows what he's doing. This is going to look cool. That's a great look. That being said, let's talk about a couple other things. I think the logo looks okay. Clearly, we're seeing a version of this costume that is more battle scarred than, your plain old straight out of the box, whatever this is supposed to be, a Kryptonian battle suit or, super suit invented by Superman or something. I imagine this will be some sort of Kryptonian technology. It looks like that. It has a lot of those Marvel texture lines that people have gotten pretty familiar with, where Vision can't be a guy in just a leotard like he is in the Halloween episode of WandaVision. He has to have all kinds of texture and lines, vertical lines going up and down his arms. And I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's a reason. I'm sure people like this. I don't think it's necessary, but there must be a reason why we keep seeing it. Because it's what, but I will say, James Gunn, his Guardians costumes were very much clothes. Even when they were the uniform, they were supposed to be pants and a jacket, coat, suit thing, whatever you're calling it. But it wasn't say the Vision, where it's he's just, that is what he's wearing because that is who he is. The Guardians of the Galaxy all had t-shirts on underneath their Guardians uniforms. So serving a very different function. I would say, when you look at the Suicide Squad costumes and the Peacemaker costumes, those are incredibly faithful, especially the Peacemaker costume itself. Polka Dot Man costume, I guess, isn't faithful in the sense that that's exactly what it looks like, but it does capture the spirit of that character while adapting it in a more, scientific aesthetic. So I think that makes sense. I guess, I don't know. There was a part of me that hoped that what we would get is just a Superman suit, a very plain, simple Superman suit. And maybe this is what could totally happen. Maybe there's multiple suits in this movie. Maybe this is his fancy Kryptonian suit and it gets damaged during the movie and then he replaces it with the Halloween costume one. But because that is so iconic and cool, we love it, right? I think I could see that happening. I like the boots. I think the boots look cool. They're big and booty. They got big weight to them. Part of me is wondering if maybe this costume, it's I've got to say it comes from Krypton. That's my guess. I don't think they're going to do it that the government made this for him, and I definitely don't think he made this himself. I think it would be a good move in a movie like this for him to make a costume himself as some sort of retaking his identity moment. Because I think if we're looking at all the suits we've seen, the TV ones tend to be the best. I don't know why. I mean, obviously Christopher Reeve, it's a perfect suit. But since then, every time someone's taken another shot at it, Lois and Clark version is very good. The Superman and Lois version is very good. And then I would say the best live action Superman suit we've ever seen is the Brandon Routh Crisis on Infinite Earth suit. It's perfect. The color, the texture, the neckline, the cape, the shorts, he's got it all. It's as good as they've been. I never loved the Cavill costume. And I don't even love the Brandon Routh costume in the movie that he's in. But I think we've gotten a fair amount of really good Superman costumes on screen. A lot of them show up in TV. All right, let's talk about two things I don't love. And again, this is not saying that I think it's bad or the movie's bad or anything like that. It's just aesthetically two things that I'm not a humongous fan of. One, I don't love the way the cape is like attached to the shoulders. And again, this is something, it's just a personal thing. I think it looks better when it is like kind of tucked in. And again, why I like the Brandon Routh suit, or just it's got to feel flexible. It feels like it's like kind of packed in. It doesn't feel like they're from the same piece of material, which I guess it looks, I don't know, it looks very manufactured in a way that's kind of weird. But second, the thing I have a much bigger problem with is the collar. I just don't like the collar. It's something that showed up during the New 52. It became part of the default Superman look for a little while. It feels like we kind of came to our senses and got rid of it, but it looks to me, it just feels very like military, feels very like authoritarian Superman. I feel like we've seen a couple of versions of like the authoritarian Superman where you get the collar, and it is just like Superman is not a soldier. Maybe he's wearing what is a soldier's uniform at this point, but for that reason, I just don't like the collar on him. Now, the reason I don't like the collar, a lot of characters, a lot of superheroes have some covering, right? In that universe too, right? The Flash has a big mask that goes over at least most of his head and some of his neck. Batman, obviously, cowl, full face covering, leave the mouth open, neck covered. And other characters have outfits that change sometimes. But I guess I like that compared to Flash and Batman, and Green Lantern kind of, although the different Green Lanterns also dress differently, I like that Superman doesn't have a collar. He's not wearing anything fancy up here. It's just like a regular shirt, you know, and you get to see the, you know, the clavicle. I think that's good. I don't know. I think it's a very specific thing. I'm sure I can be convinced. This is the thing. I didn't love this suit. Don't hate this suit. I trust that in live action, it will be cool. And let's say one other thing. Solaris in the background, I think, looks pretty cool. The Solaris, for people that don't know, is mostly known for All-Star Superman. He is an evil son that teams up with Lex Luthor to kill Superman. And when it comes to the Superman movie, much has been said about what comics it's going to take inspiration from in stories. All-Star Superman is always up there. So it seems like there's just a Solaris in the background there, which is interesting because then that is not a character that has been cast, and Solaris can speak, but that's kind of cool. And then it seems like he's actively fighting the Green Lantern or something, which I assume is the Guy Gardner Green Lantern played by Nathan Fillion. So that's kind of cool too. But yeah, overall, the image wasn't what I was expecting. I was expecting a much simpler kind of, hey, look, it's Superman flying away or whatever. So this definitely gives him a little bit more character in a way that's interesting. But that being said, I'm not a humongous fan of every part of the costume. Very happy we got the shorts. Not so happy about the collar, but we will see. But I wonder if this is just what the Kryptonian costumes are going to look like in this universe. I don't know. Anyway, thank you for watching, and subscribe, like, all that stuff for this channel. I'll see you guys around.